said to her, well, what if we had a conversation? And what if we filmed that conversation about what that looks like, Maria? And she agreed. As Black women, we've got to stop competing. We have
Oh,
to stop. We've got to stop that. If there is something that sisters are doing and I find out about it anywhere in the country, I should be trying to do what I can to push it forward, especially when we're talking about areas of healing for us and for our community. There should be alignment there.
absolutely. I could not agree more. But I said, just look at the economic power we did when we stopped shopping at Target. When you come together on a common goal, it is just amazing what you can accomplish.
Yes,
I was just wondering for both of you, when the conference ends and you feel like, okay, we've really done it, what is that going to look like?
Yes. I keep saying yes because it's working in my brain. I'm not going to forget that.
hello, everybody who is watching this. I am so excited. My name is Courageous Fire. I'm the founding executive director of Courageous Access. And everybody, that is Sanaa. She is a lot of things to Courageous Access. In this particular moment, she's more of when we talk about the conference, she's the event coordinator. But when we talk about today's conversation, I would really look at her more as coming from the aspect of a board member and the mission of the organization. We're so happy to have her and her support. We have with us today two ladies, and they have so graciously agreed to have this conversation. And I'm thrilled about it because not only are we talking about health today for Black women, for the Black community, we're also talking about health as far as the way we work together and what that does for us as Black women. And so this is an amazing conversation, an amazing opportunity with amazing women. And I am so honored to be able to sit in the midst of them with you. And so, who are these amazing ladies that I'm talking about right here? You see Maria Barnes, Brewer-Cotlar. What are we doing? Well, we're getting ready to talk about the Delta Cares Conference. And these ladies are a part of the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority. And like they have so much to tell us about why they agreed to come and talk about these things together with us today and exactly how beneficial this conference is going to be and why it's so important for you to be there. And so thank you so much for being here, Deb. Thank you so much for being here, Maria. Yes, ma'am.
And so when we talk about the Delta Care Conference, and while we say this is our inaugural event, our conference has been going on. This will be actually our third year.
Okay.
And I believe you know Kayla Bell Consalver.
Yes, I do.
Yes,
yes, I do.
So 2 years ago, Kayla was overseeing one of our co-chairs in our physical and mental health committee and brought forth this idea around mental health and a mental health conference. Mm-hmm. Because when we started, it really was about how do we destigmatize in the Black community about it is okay to go talk about and see about your mental health. Every year we go to the dentist, we go to the foot doctor, we go see our medical doctor, we go see every part of our body, but we forget about our head. And if we don't have our head in the right place, we just don't work efficiently and effectively. And as an African American, as a Black woman, we know about the stress and trauma.
Yes, ma'am.
And another one of my dear sorority sisters, Passion Muhammad, talks about that slave stress stays with us today.
That's right.
And so when Kayla brought forth the idea of the Black Mental Health Conference, that was our goal. It was about how do we bring to the community, we need to take care of our entire body. It was about bringing together community, clinicians, to talk about how we move forward, how we heal as a community. We are an organization that was founded, and our foundation is built on our Christian faith. But in addition to that, Delta cares about the community and we care about our sisterhood. And that is our focus. And so that's how Delta Cares came to be. So it is our rebranding of the conference.
When we talk about the 5-point programmatic,
We are focused on this, that we, as a sorority, these are the things that we focus on as in regards to the programs that we implement on a yearly basis, that we strategically plan what we're going to do in each one of these arenas in order to impact the communities that we serve.
you gave us the history, Deb, on how we got here. We know that Mother's Day happens in May. We know that the weather starts to change and it starts to look a little bit more hopeful in May. But tell us why Delta chose the month of May for this amazing conference.
May. We chose that month primarily because, number one, it fits in our program a year, but more importantly, it is Mental Health Month. And so as we look at how we can help the community, we try and do things that may coincide with things that are happening in the calendar. And so choosing May gives us that opportunity to focus on mental health. While there is a focus, of course, on women, but this is a conference that is open and available to all. It is very much a learning conference for everyone to talk about the importance of taking away that stigma of focusing on your mental health.
Thank you so much for that, Deb. Maria, I have thoroughly enjoyed meeting you. What strikes me about you is that you're clearly so much for the community. I'd love to hear when you think about what's going to be given to the community in this conference. I'd love to hear what you're most excited about.
Uh, Thank you. It was great to meet you and talk to you as well. You are a rainy shine of light that that flows upon us all. So what is the conference going to provide? It's going to provide a lot of good stuff, I think. Our theme is the power of community, UNITY, right? Unity being those letters that are standing out. Not only as Deb talked about mental health track, but we're going to have a track on economic development. We're going to have a track on physical health. We're going to have tracks for teens. I should say young adults, 10 to 18-year-olds, to be involved in. We're going to have vendors there that are going to provide information for the community and resources for the community to be able to tap into. We're going to have an amazing keynote speaker with Vanessa McNeil, who will bring it all home in regards to our overall theme of the power of community. So I know I said a lot because I'm so excited about everything that the conference will offer, because there's so many things. It's like, and the thing is that the nice thing is that you have all these breakout sessions. So if you can come in the morning, come in the morning and come into a session. If you come in the afternoon, because you work in the morning, that's fine. Come on in the afternoon. We will still be there providing all these opportunities for the participants. In addition, we'll provide breakfast for participants and have lunch while the keynote speaker is addressed. So I encourage everyone to come. We have so many dynamic speakers, so many dynamic vendors that I'm sure that you will get something out of it, and you will be able to interact with the community. You will have, and as Deb said, everyone is welcome to come and enjoy and to learn together.
And we know that in our communities, there are serious problems with food insecurity.
Mm,
And so I really just wanted to call that out and just say thank you so much for considering and making sure that you address that need,
mm.
so that folks would have an opportunity to not have to worry about that at the conference. Tell us date, place, time. Tell us those things too.
Absolutely. I'll start, and then Maria, if I forget something. So we are excited that we are partnering with Drake University. So we will be at the Olmstead Center on that campus. It's May 2nd. We start at 8:30 in the morning and we'll go until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So coming at 8:30 gives you an opportunity to get breakfast, to register, but also to spend some time with the vendors before we start our sessions. One of the other takeaways, important takeaways for me, is that we are giving people tools that they're going to walk away with. Resources, information, tools to help them navigate their health, their physical health, as well as their economic health as well.
And in addition, we have parking that will be closely by the Olmstead Center that will be available. I believe it's the yellow lot. If individuals are driving and they will have to drive around Drake campus trying to find a parking spot, there will be a space available for them for to attend the conference.
And the Olmstead Center is right off of University. So if people want to take notes, that address is 2875 University Avenue.
Yes, yes, yes. Somewhere around this video, there is a link for the registration form. It is very easy to navigate. It's very user-friendly. There is no cost. So just click on that link while we're talking and go ahead and get signed up because this is definitely something that you want to be present at. Ladies, is there a capacity? Like, is there a certain number that, it's full at this number of folks in the building?
To my understanding, we haven't received that. The more the merrier.
Okay.
If we reach capacity where we have to start turning people away, we will make a point to get your name and your email address if you're registered, and we will provide you with those tools that we have made available from the that was made available in the conference.
That's what I'm looking at, and if we can shoot beyond 100, I will be a happy camper.
Yes.
That's right.
There's going to be a variety of platforms in which information is going to be given, right? It's not going to be just you sitting in a classroom and someone talking in front of the class. You're going to have opportunities where you can do line dancing if you like, right, for physical health. We're going to have a self-defense class. We're going to have panels. Dr. Venise Berry will be there, and there'll be a panel discussion on the book that she has published. So there's multiple platforms that will be very interactive so that you can garner tools and enjoy the different types of platforms in which it will be provided to you.
And one of the things that I'm excited about, and that's why you love to get input from your members, we're going to be doing a R&B yoga class.
Yes.
And one of my members who's in that silver club with me said, can we do some chair yoga with that as well? And so do not be afraid. We have chairs, so you can sit and move, or you can stand and move to the groove of R&B. So we do try and accommodate. So we are very excited about that.
I'm excited about that too, because once again, the innovation, right? The innovation. That it's just beautiful when we just allow just full creativity. And that's what I'm hearing. Like the different ways to interact, the different ways to try on what mental health can look like. It's just beautifully thought out, ladies. I love it. Absolutely love it. Is there anything that we need to highlight or center that we have not yet, ladies, about this wonderful conference coming up on May 2nd?
Yes, I just encourage everyone to go register. Register, register, register. Bring your friends and
Yes.
family members. Just come out and have a good day. I guess I hope it'll be a beautiful day. I'm sure it will, even if it's raining outside. When you walk into the doors of Delta Care, you're gonna be like, I'm feeling the community and I'm feeling good. So I just encourage everyone to come out and enjoy having a good time and enjoying with fellowship and with people within the community.
I was just wondering for both of you, when the conference ends and you feel like, okay, we've really done it, like what is the physical thing that you'll see in the community that makes you feel like, okay, we've done it?
What does impact look like, right, as it relates to this conference? And I think there's, for me, multiple things reach out. One would be the feedback from the participants. We will have a survey at the end to get feedback from participants for their experience and what they think worked and didn't work. I think if we give feedback where they're saying we like this, we want this, we look forward to seeing it coming back next year to this conference again. I think that would be, I would be excited to see that and show that we have had an impact. The second thing is that if we see where the community is asking, we want even more of it in our community. Even before next May, we want some more of it to come. I know you guys do a lot in the community, but we want even more. I think that that would show that we have made an impact because it's allowing us to see that the community appreciate, I guess, for lack of a better phrase, got their cup filled with the information that was provided at the conference, and
Mhm.
that they're willing to, they want some more of it, right? They want it to overflow, and I think that that provides us with the opportunity to, um, when we start doing our strategic planning, when we get ready to do our strategic planning for next year for each of our programmatic thrusts, then it lets us know, okay, this worked in the conference, and this will we can start implementing this. How can we start doing it in a even more intentional way throughout the year prior to the conference occurring in the next iteration?
And one of the other things for me, Sana, because we have the emails and the survey data, that we could get to a point where maybe 6 months down the road, we're going back to those individuals and talking about what changes have you made based on what you learned at the conference. That's how we begin to measure impact. That's how we begin to talk about if someone comes back and says to us, because of what I learned at this conference, I have found a counselor that I can reach out to.
Mm.
Because of the information that I gained from the economic breakout sessions, here are changes that I have made to reduce my debt. That for me is where we begin to see that change and where we see that impact.
Awesome. Thank you for that question, Sana. It's amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
So
Thank you so
courageous.
much.
I
Yes,
just want to
ma'am.
say that we welcome and we're so appreciative of this opportunity
Oh yes.
to reach out to your audience, to share something that is near and dear not only to our heart, but is extremely important for our community. And so thank you for
Mhm.
this platform. And thank you for the opportunity to share and collaborate with you today and in the future. I look forward to that walk.
Absolutely.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank you so much. And I'm just going to piggyback right on what Deb said. So, for those of you who've been rocking with Courageous Access for a minute, we told you that we were going to keep bringing resources, right? Even though we've switched from local to regional and now we're targeting national initiatives and coming from a national perspective, we told you that we would always try to find those state specific things for you. And so, for those of you who are in our hometown base of Des Moines, Iowa, this thing is for you. This is an amazing opportunity, really, to do step one of what we're going to be talking about in a minute that you're going to be doing with us in Chicago. We look at this as the first step. Like this opportunity here with Delta Cares and this wonderful conference in a few weeks on May 2nd is going to be wonderful. And it's going to be something that the whole family can come to, right? A lot of times, Courageous Access events are for Black women, but this is for you and everybody that you love. Bring everybody. Like, just get all in it. Like at the Delta Cares conference, this is the whole family thing. And so, and there's no cost. You don't have to worry about that. So again, somewhere around this video that you are watching, the very user-friendly link to the Delta Cares conference is right there for you. Please sign up and immerse yourself in this amazing experience.
Oh, hello, everyone. I have the pleasure of having two of the amazing women with Courageous Fire and Sanachan here to talk to us about the wonderful work that they are doing with Courageous Access. So I would kick this off by a very simple question, but I think a very important question is what is Courageous Access? And tell us about this amazing conference that I've read about that you guys will be having coming up soon.
Honestly, Courageous Access started because I did not understand that I had been living in a very violent marriage because I wasn't being physically hit or punched or anything like that. And so I didn't know. I just knew I was really miserable. And as a Black woman in the United States, that really did something to me. Somewhere around year 12 or 13 was when it was confirmed for me this marriage is considered a domestic violence situation. And so by the time I figured that out, and then by the time that the initial separation happened, I'd been married 13 years. By the time the divorce happened, it was almost 15 years of my life gone. And so I had two girls from that marriage. And then, of course, we had to unravel that from our lives. And there are so many different impacts of violence. There's so many different impacts of trauma and stress, especially the way that it impacts Black women. And so I saw those impacts in my own life. And my brain just works this way. If something happened to me and it was bad, I want to know how it happened and I want to know how to prevent it in the future. Once I figure that out for me, the very next thing that my brain wants to know is who else looks like me and who else is experiencing that and how do we keep that from happening? And so, because I started doing research and found out that over 40% of Black women in the United States deal with domestic violence, I was like, wow, it wasn't just me. This is prevalent with us. And then I started finding out all the ways that it impacts us that we aren't aware of. And so, in my mind, that meant there needs to be direct services that are safe emotionally for us to enter, that don't re traumatize us as Black women, but that do help us recover from the damage of domestic violence. So that's how it started back in 2020. As I began to work more with Black women, I realized I couldn't just target Black women who identify as having domestic violence or having survived domestic violence because too often violence is normalized in our community. And so I'm like, okay, I need to just start making sure courageous access. Yes, anytime we gather in a space, yes, let's give the knowledge about domestic violence, how to accurately self screen for it, where you go if you're in crisis dealing with it, and how you recover from it. Yes. But let me make sure that these spaces are open to Black women, just Black women, because if the space is a safe space, they're going to come to it if we're doing things that they enjoy. But if we're telling them to identify, we're creating a barrier for them to get the help that they don't even know that they need right now. And so Courageous Access has been working on what do we do for Black women to improve our health outcomes? Because what we now know is the trauma and the stress that lives within our bodies, dealing with things like domestic violence, is shortening our lives. It is causing us to have poor health outcomes where we keep ranking at the top: maternal morbidity, most aggressive and non-responsive forms of cancer, cardiovascular abnormalities or diseases or disorders, um, autoimmune diseases. And a lot of these things are life threatening and life shortening. And what we are now seeing, not just in our work in Courageous Access, but scientifically, people are starting to connect the dots from trauma, stress, and things like domestic violence, high cortisol levels, and then all of these diseases that keep. And so, Courageous Access's goal started off with, hey, did you know that this is domestic violence too? And it has now become, hey, we deserve to not just survive, we deserve to actually live well and live long. And let's figure out how to cut off the things that are routing us down the wrong roads. Let's start finding ways to make pathways back to healthier spaces for us in the ways that we can relate. So the other piece for Courageous Access has always been culturally rooted. How do we interact with life? What do we feel comfortable in? Is it a sterile white space where the walls are white and everything feels antiseptic? Or is it a space very similar to what Delta Cares is going to look like, right? Is there music? Is there dancing? Can I talk to folks? Can we take selfies? Can we laugh and joke? Can we eat the kind of food that we like to eat? Can we do things in a way that speaks to us? And then can we include the modalities from our ancestry that don't necessarily always coincide with Western medicine, but are the things that our people were doing for healing. Where's the vibrational healing? Did we lose that? Well, then let's pull it back in. Where are the ways that we write and dance out and sing out and call and response out grief, negativity, stress, pressure, trauma? Those are the things that we started noticing in the 5 years that we've been doing this work that Black women's healing responds to. And so that's what Courageous Access is. It was on the local and regional level, and now we're bringing it to the national level because we want all of us in the United States to feel better and live longer, and we deserve that.
Yes. Where can listeners find you, find Courageous Access? Because I can imagine that some women may be sitting at home and listening to this and was like, wait a minute, that may be me. How do I reach out to Courageous Access to get help?
Somewhere around this video is the link to our website. And that's the place to start. The contact form function is probably the easiest way, and saying, hey, you know what? Because we are now more national facing, what we're doing is working on our website so that when sisters click on there, they can click on their state and then be able to find culturally responsive and effective help for what they're dealing with at that time. This is what I'm dealing with. What do I do? And we're happy to respond. One of the things I definitely want to call out that I believe is on our website, but if it's not, I know it's definitely around this video, and that is if you are living in the state of Iowa, there are a couple of places that you definitely want to go. Number one, just like Deb was talking about, making sure that you have um, there is a list of Black therapists in Iowa list link somewhere around this video. Click on that. We keep thinking that there's no help that already understands who we are as Black people to be able to access, but that's not true. There are pages and pages on this website that you're going to click on that link and find of Black therapists in the state of Iowa. And if you're not in the state of Iowa when you're watching this, all you got to do is filter that list for your state and for your ethnicity, and you can find someone who already understands your background, but also is someone that you're going to want to feel comfortable with having the support that you deserve. There's also a website link around here of this video that's called Back the Black. Lots of mental health resources for Black Iowans, and that is something that was built by Black Iowans. So feel free to go through there, and it has a segment out through ages. On our website, when you very first land there, it tells you if this is what you're dealing with, this is the number or this is the chat link that you need to go to. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is 24/7. You can chat with them, you can text them, or you can call them. And the most important thing for you to do if you are dealing with domestic violence and you realize that now is get a safety plan. So they are the experts in doing that. Please don't tell other people that you're planning to do that. Definitely don't tell the abuser that you're planning to do that. And make sure that if you can, find someone else's device to make that phone call on or to chat with or to text from to start making your safety plan. But most important thing for you to do is to make that safety plan. And that plan might not say you get out tomorrow. That plan might be a 6-month plan. But the point of the plan is safety, not quickness, but safety. Your likelihood of serious harm or being not making it out alive in domestic violence dramatically increases the moment you try to leave it. So that is why safety plans are so important. So please make sure that if that is you, that's where you're going to go. And as soon as you land on our website, it tells you exactly what to do.
Yes, that's very nice and powerful because the idea that I can find someone that looks like me, that I can talk to and
Yes.
feel comfortable, and they're in my state, right? I don't have to go
Yes.
5 hours away or 10 hours away to be able to find that person, that they're there. That's a very nice tool that you provide to women to be able to talk to someone and get the therapy that they need at a time when they need it probably the most. We know what Courageous Access is and what they do. We know how you can get contact Courageous Acts and get information. So let's talk about this wonderful conference that's coming up in October. Just give us the lowdown in regards to the this conference.
I love it.
Why the conference?
Why?
Why the
Mm.
conference? No, what is your goal for the conference
Mm.
overall? And then the logistics. Where is it going to be?
Sure. The overall goal, honestly, with the 2025 that Black women have had, right? And I told you that our focus was going to be gathering in spaces that Black women need and then giving them the other things that they may not know that they need once they get there. 25 was brutal for Black women. Over 600,000 Black women unemployed. A lot of sisters are in transition right now. A lot of sisters are discouraged right now. A lot of sisters feel heavy right now. One of the things that this conference goal is for them to empty out. Like, I want you to be able to just drop whatever you felt, whatever you experienced. I want you to be able to drop it on the floor of the Q Center that day and walk away and leave it there. The other part of the goal is for them to be able to fill up. And so there's so many different levels of healing that will be happening at this conference. That was the fill up portion. There are going to be Black women, five of them, that are going to be doing five different sessions that day. There won't be any breakouts because we don't want anybody to miss anything. So only one thing happens at a time. But these sisters are going to be dealing with things in ways that, it's so interesting when you get the opportunity for sisters to just be ourselves. And so there's five women, but each of them are doing something completely different. So, like, one sister is reminding us that vibrations are healing. So she's got sound baths and sound bowls and all of these different things to walk us through and to remind our bodies that as Black women, vibration is part of how we've ancestrally always healed. Like, that's part of us. And so she's taking us back to that. That's one of the ways that we're going to get to fill up is by having that experience with her. Another sister there, has certain modalities that she uses, um, where she can take the human ear and other parts of our bodies and manipulate those and actually lessen the symptoms of PTSD,
Mm,
depression, anxiety. And so, us being able to, that's a form of kind of filling up and emptying out. And in all of these sessions, these sisters are going to show us why these things work in our bodies, show us how these things work, and then help us understand how to make them work when we're away from them so that those things can still stay with us. Another sister uh, loves to show us with nutrition what things we should be eating, how to watch our label reading, and then she shows us easy ways to move. What I love about this sister is that everything that she does is so easily incorporated into regular real life. Like, I got kids, I'm a single mom, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Maybe I got a couple of jobs. The things that she shows us can fit right into our crazy, busy lives and still accomplish the goal of getting us healthier. Another sister is bringing, um, we talked about grief, and so often Black women deal with certain levels of grief that we don't even recognize as grief.
mm,
So I talked about being married before. Well, it's not like I didn't love the guy. I needed to divorce him because he was violent, not because I didn't love him.
mm,
He didn't pass away, but the dream that I had in my head of being married and having children and what that life would be, that did die. That's a level of grief. Well, if I don't deal with that and process that out, I just keep carrying this all around with me. Grief is heavy.
mm,
And so, one of the sisters who is so hilarious, but at the same time, she's a brilliant writer, is going to show us how to write that out of our lives, write it out of our systems, get that weight off of our physical frame and out of our emotional frame. And then there's one more sister, which is me, who's going to bring a couple of things. Number one, we need to learn how to self screen in ways that make sense to us. We've all sat in dentist's office, doctor's office, and they've said, do you feel safe at home? And we thought, what are they talking about? I don't even know what that means. I don't know how to answer. So I guess I'll just say yes. But screening for violence should be in ways that we actually understand what you're asking us, and we should be able to answer in a yes or no. So we know, yes, I sit in this category, or no, thankfully, I do not sit in that category. And so we're going to learn that. We're going to learn more about those resources I was talking about that are on our website for that. But then we're also going to talk about how do you take trauma and teach it how to pay you. So there's a lot of sisters that I'm sure in your world, in the deltas, that walk in corporate and professional spaces. They're probably not going to go off and be entrepreneurs. They're probably going to just stay in the corporate world. But what if they had this S on their chest that they never opened up their blouse and were able to flash and use? What we do, we have trauma. And trauma is one of the biggest innovators that we don't know how to tap into and don't even realize that we can. Trauma gives us the ability to upskill, and we all do it. When we survive trauma, it's because we upskilled during the trauma. So when we do that, those skills actually fit into areas in our society, in our workplaces, that gaps are, that we could fill those gaps with that knowledge, with that new skill. So, what does that mean for professional sisters to be able to take that, plug it in, and get promotions? Take that, plug it in, and be able to lead those projects now. What does that look like for them to be able to start writing their own ticket in different ways simply because they have that hidden S on their chest that they thought was a burden only? Now they can find out that it's also a hidden gem. So we talk about that because one of the things that we know that sisters really are concerned about is, what about my next generation? I don't have a trust fund to give them. What can I give my kids that puts them ahead of the game? If you can teach your kids this, now you put them ahead in ways that will absolutely give them that leg up that you want them to have. I kind of feel like Harriet Tubman is showing up um, in a modern form in this
Mm-hmm.
conference. You know, those hidden underground railroads that we can lead them through that give them a new level of freedom that they didn't know existed, but that they deserve to have access to.
Oh, very nice. So it's going to be a powerful event. Where will it be?
It'll be in Chicago at the Q Center. Is a suburb of Chicago, so it's St. Charles, but it's in the greater Chicago area. And it will be October 10th is the conference, but the night before, for people who are staying overnight, will be October 9th. And the conference is from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
And how do you register for the conference?
Look for the link. Look for the link. And right now, until April 30th, there are 30 early bird tickets available. And so this is the best time, sisters, to get in right now until April 30th or until those 30 seats are gone. Um, look for the link around this video. That is how you register for the conference.
What does a ticket covers? What do I get with my ticket? Besides the powerful speakers, the wonderful experience, is there anything else that I will receive?
So it's overnight. Anybody who registers with a ticket has, of course, the conference, but as well the overnight so that they can stay in a room. There is dinner at the Q Center in their dining hall. There's also private breakfast and private lunch during the conference. So we have a space. So we're not in a dining hall, but we're separate from everyone else. And we'll have that for breakfast and for lunch.
And because people do get hungry and because people do have other dietary needs, and we are aware of this, you don't have to wait because our nutritionist person is going to make sure that the snacks and the drinks that we choose for there to be out the entire day, that those are also healthy. Folks will be able to eat even between breakfast and lunch and after lunch until the end of the conference.
Oh, wow. It's like being on a cruise, right? It's like food is taken
Yeah,
care of.
yeah, yeah.
Food is taken care
Yeah,
of. I'm getting my soul and
yeah.
my body healed and mentally healed. It's like an amazing event for just one low price, right? So it's nice to be able to
Yes.
say once I pay it, I am going to be set. I just show up and everything is taken care of for that day and a half. In every aspect, the whole person is being field. So I see you're looking for sponsors. So who can sponsor? Who are you looking for to sponsor to help support this amazing event? Everybody.
Anybody and everybody. Yes. The attendees are anyone who identifies as a Black woman and who lives in the United States can attend. The sponsors can be anyone. And what's so wonderful for sponsors is that I know that a lot of the folks that are sponsoring are interested in what outcomes will they be able to learn about. And so one of the things I want potential sponsors to understand is that there will be a report after, right? So there are things that we are going to be making sure that we check in with the attendees throughout the day, as a baseline at the beginning and throughout the day, and then as a checkpoint at the end that are going to allow us to be able to see how folks are progressing, right? What are they learning? What do they now know that they didn't know? What can they now do that they couldn't do before they came? When we're talking about just the outcomes for the attendees, we want them to have an experience, but we also want the sponsors who invest to know that their money is being put to good use. You will know that. So we'll have the initial information from the surveys and all of that throughout the day, but then synthesizing that information and making sure that you have your impact report before October 31st is the other thing that you will get. And so that I know that when sponsors spend dollars, they have to answer to funding committees, boards, or whoever, hey, what did we get for this? And you'll be able to clearly articulate that.
I was going to ask you, what if my company wants to sponsor, but they have more questions? Who do they reach out to get this information from? And how do they
Absolutely.
contact you?
There is a place on the website for them to be able to chat and ask questions, or they can absolutely, and this is in the comment section here somewhere, but cabwc.info@gmail.com is the conference website official email address. And so if they have additional questions, they are more than welcome to email us there and ask. And there are a couple of different ways to sponsor, right? There are sponsorship packages, and on the sponsorship investment portal that you see listed here around this video, it lists them all. So if you want your money to just go to support the conference itself and the costs of the conference, then that's going to be where you want to go. But you may have Black women who are employees that you want to be able to send as a part of a wellness package for your organization. If that's what you want to do, then instead of going to the sponsorship form, the better place to go for you will be to the ticket link. Because on that ticket link, there is a section in the lower left-hand corner that says, I'd just like to donate. When you click that, then you can put your price there. So then you're just going to want to multiply whichever package that you're buying for your employees and multiply that by however many employees that you're buying packages for. And then that's the amount that you want to write in that you want to do. And then that way that will come into us, and then we'll reach back out to you and say, hey, all we need from you is the names and email addresses of the people that you're sponsoring so that we can give it to the Q Center and that they'll be signed up as registrants.
So, with this conversation, you're holding hands with the Delta Cares Conference, Courageous Access and Delta Cares. They're holding hands. Why did you want to hold hands with Delta Cares? So tell us why Delta Cares and Courageous Access.
First of all, our sororities have missions about what they would like to see happen in the communities. Delta actually has this conference going on. I have to call her out. Kayla Belconsalver is someone that I continue to see over and over again doing the work in the community. And so when I saw the conference and I asked her about it, and she connected me to you, one of the things that she said to me was, I think that there would be some really good collaboration opportunity for both events, which made me go look at the event. Knowing Kayla the way I do, knowing that she is so committed to mental health for the community, meeting you, Maria, and seeing your commitment to this work, seeing what Delta has planned, hearing more about that from you, that got me excited that this could really be an opportunity for two Black female-led organizations to actually show Black women this is what togetherness and sisterhood is supposed to look like. And to me, that's such a powerful statement for us. when we have been accustomed to, and in many times and many instances, Black women have been set at odds with one another on purpose to benefit from it. Like I'll make them scrap with each other and then they'll both work harder and then we get the benefit of them doing more work, is the way that's normally done. But when we back up from that whole picture and we just see each other, the healing that Black women contain is so powerful when you put it together. And so, and my spirit really could feel the authenticity of this event, of you, Maria, in particular, in that conversation. And I thought, you know what? This is a beautiful way to really, truly have a sisterhood moment that benefits the community and the two audiences that we're both serving. And so when you jumped at the idea and all of this electricity sparked in the conversations of how this could look, I'm like, this is what this is supposed to be. And I believe in listening.
Yes, it's going to be great. Both of the programs, conference is going to be amazing.
So we are definitely, and I know for a lot of your audience is corporate women. There are some of the things that we were talking about this morning as far as what Black women in corporate experience. I was in there for a very short time, but I also saw a lot from Courageous and her experience that taught me about what it's like to be in corporate, things like that. So some of the things that we were talking about.
And if I can give a plug out, because the listeners have heard a lot of the name Kayla Bell Consolver. I got to give her the kudos and shine light on her. She is amazing. And if you come to the Delta Cares conference, she is actually going to have one of the breakout sessions, which I know is going to be powerful as it relates to suicide and how it impacts us. That just put a plug out there for Kayla. That I believe her session is at Breakout 3, which would be the afternoon session right after lunch, after the luncheon and the keynote speaker will occur.
So one of the things that we were talking about was stress management.
So when we were talking about stress management, we were talking about what that really means.
So in more than one occasion, you spoke about speaking about what the conference will address in the health for Black women. Are you talking about the social determinants of health and the way those create the health disparities? And if so, could you elaborate on that?
I really wanted to not to elaborate on that. We were talking this morning and she was bowling me over with the things that she was saying. I'll go back to the vibrations again because when she broke this down this morning, it was heavy. So there are certain things that we hear in certain spaces. Even the pitch of voices, if you listen to all of us in the way that we are talking during this conversation, all of us have a very mellow, round, rich tone. When we get into those corporate spaces, things are thin, they're high pitched, they're screechy, they're nasal, and they have a different impact on us physically hearing that all day. That makes a difference in stress management. Another thing that we were talking about this morning was violence, right? And I talked about hidden violence, things that we don't recognize as violence. Well, guess what? If I don't recognize it in my intimate partner relationship, that someone's trying to dominate me or someone is being harmful, we talk about Iowa nice or Midwestern nice, right? But it's not nice. It's actually different ways of course of control. It's actually certain ways of dominance. It's actually certain ways of trying to press your will onto someone without them realizing it. So it's very manipulative. If I don't recognize that in my intimate partner relationships, then I'm not going to recognize it when it happens at work. And so my bosses and my peers will probably dominate me, right? They will probably press their will onto me in ways that are manipulative that I don't realize, but I feel like I can't say no. We look at certain things as, oh, well, that's violent, but that's just uncomfortable. If I feel like I can't say no because I feel like I'm going to be ostracized, or I feel like I won't get this promotion, or I feel like I'm going to be overlooked for something else that really matters to me, that is just as violent as someone putting a hand to my face. My body doesn't know the difference between those two things. And so then in every environment that I'm in, I'm going to struggle with emotional balance. I'm going to struggle with physical health. And some of those things are going to bleed into other areas. And I'm not going to know that this is why I just constantly have this weight on me.
Mm,
So we were talking about the different ways that these are literally like the social determinants of health in those sneaky ways
mm,
and coming from those environments where we're not looking for that. So when we talk about those social determinants of health, we're literally talking about the ways that it comes in that are unrecognizable and taking those masks off and recognizing those ways that we've already been in those environments and then being able to shed their impact at
mm,
that place. So that's what we mean when we're talking about the social determinants. It's like, it's not just those things you know, it's those things in those places that you don't expect it that we want you to be able to now recognize it.
mm. Nice, nice facts. You drops a lot of information, right? When you don't really think about it like that, because you sort of, I don't know, you tune it out, I guess, because you think it, because you only expect
Yes,
it in certain situations, as you stated so eloquently, right? You don't think it in other spaces, but that knowledge that you just dropped allows me to start thinking, okay, wait a minute, wait a minute now, let me think about how that sounds again, right? Because maybe I won't be as
yes,
accepting or tolerable
yes,
of certain
yes.
situations. Yes.
Yes, and it's not the allowance, right?
Yes.
Because I've heard so many sisters chastise themselves and each other. You know, well, sis, if you've been hurt, just realize, what did you do? Ask yourself, what was your play in all this?
Hmm.
It's like, no, I can't recognize something that I've never seen the true label of,
Right.
right?
Right.
It's just like if I don't really know, okay, and this is a perfect example because I'm not a purse girl at all. I just want something that holds my stuff. So I don't care whose name is on it. If it's brown and it holds my stuff, because I think brown is a neutral color, I'm good. So you could give me a fake anything, Gucci, Michael Kors, whoever, I wouldn't know the difference,
Mhm.
right? So if you say, well, I can't believe you allowed somebody to give you a fake bag, I didn't allow because I don't recognize the label of Gucci or Michael Kors or whoever else as authentic. If you tell me, Trey, this is this gorgeous bag, it's Michael Kors, I got it just for you, I'll be like, oh, thank you for thinking of me. And I'll take the bag. It's not an allowance. It is, I don't know the actual label and what it looks like. So therefore, I can't identify it. It's not an allowance. I'm not able to identify it. Therefore, I'm not able to keep it away from me. But like you said, now when you get the opportunity to go, wait a minute, is that on there with Velcro? What is that? Like, that's not a Michael Kors bag. She made that in her basement. You know, now it's a whole different scenario. It's like,
Yes.
okay, now I know what a Michael Kors bag is not. That's not it. And yes, I would like the bag, but sister, you didn't have to lie to me. It doesn't have to be a designer bag. I appreciate that you just thought of me. Let's just keep it real.
Yes.
Now we're on a safe and an honest open communication style instead of you trying to control me with a lie,
Yes.
and that's the difference. And we don't have to chastise ourselves and scold ourselves and blame ourselves because when you don't know, you don't know.
No.
This conference is that place where you get to find out without shame. You get tools to learn how to get out of stuff, and then you get tools to heal from whatever came in when you didn't know.
Yes. So I would like to, Deb, do you have any questions that you would like to um, ask at
I
this time?
think you were extremely thorough, and I am intrigued and excited about your conference. Lots of learning. And, I never thought about when you were talking about vibrations. And, earlier we talked about we carried that trauma of our ancestry. But
Mhm.
not only is there that trauma, there is healing. And what you are doing through this conference
Hmm.
is bringing us back to that healing. So I'm just excited, and I've enjoyed listening to what you are going to be bringing.
What you said, Deb, and how excited and intrigued you both are talking about being, that is the excitement. When you have been through hell, like sisters have been in 25 and the beginning of this year, you need something to look forward to. And so that's the other thing that we wanted to do with this conference is give sisters something lovely, wonderful, exciting, fun to look forward to. And just like you for Delta Cares, and you were like, yeah, let's listen to what the members are saying. Let's see what they want. We've been doing that and talking to sisters. And so they were like, can we have Kiki time? And I'm like, well, what you mean by that? Like, we're gonna be with sisters all around the country. We're gonna want some time to be able to take selfies and go to different tables and talk. And I'm like, oh, so literally key time. They were like, yeah. I'm like, done, done. Somebody else said, well, can we have turn up time? I said, tell me what you mean when you say turn up time. They were like, we want to dance. Turn some music on, get our dance on. I said, you got it, no problem. So yes. And so that's the other thing that we want as sisters are signing up for the conference. We started a Facebook group for those of you who are on Facebook. We want you to be able to come in and tell us what you want. And we want you to start learning the things that we're adding for the conference as we go along. So we're new to the Chicago area and what it has to offer, the St. Charles area in particular. So we're talking to the St. Charles Business Alliance and going, hey, what's going to be happening before the conference? Maybe sisters might want to come early before check in and see this and that and the other. Give us a taste of that so that they'll know. They're like, we got you. Well, what about after the conference? What if they want to hang around before their plane takes off and they want to go have dinner somewhere else? Or maybe there's a theater playing or there's something else going on. Because apparently there's a huge festival going on that weekend in Chicago as well. And so they're like, no, we can give you plans for that stuff. So in that Facebook group, we're going to start throwing those things in there. Hey, we've got these things that we learned from St. Charles Business Alliance. Boom, these things are going to be happening on the 9th and 10th before and after the conference. Have a good time. Here's what they are. So we really want this to not just be the conference experience. We want it to be the experience of St. Charles, of the Chicago area, and just of that time that you get to put down on your journal as, man, this was my weekend. I had the best time. I felt great. I enjoyed sisters from all around the country. I slept well. I ate well, and I feel good. Like that's what we want.
Yes. And I think
That's
that
wonderful.
yes, and it's a wonderful way to end because it's like you feel good, right? I feel good when I left here, and I'm looking for the next event to occur, right? The next conference to come
Yes,
up so that I can
yes,
come and turn up and kiki with women I never met and women I do met and eat good and experience the Chi Town and everything that is that it offers. I think it is
yeah.
it's going to be an amazing event, and I look forward to hearing about it. I look forward to, and I'm encouraging all the Deltas out there that love to go out and kiki and want to get some self mental healing and likes to dance and just have a good time and fill their cup up very well. I encourage you all, Soros, to go out and sponsor and join the conference if your time allows you to do such, and bring a friend that you think will enjoy it as well. Don't just come by yourself. If you have friends, sorors that are in the chapter that want to come out as well, bring them too if they can all come to this. And I am very confident that it's going to be an amazing event, a very impactful event. And Courageous, if you'll give us the date, the time, the date,
Yes,
the location, the time once again, so we can, if sorry, if everyone get to the end and listen to, they would know the last, and you have the last word as well in regards to the conference.
absolutely. Thank you. The Courageous Access Black Women's Conference will be October 9th and 10th. That is a Friday and Saturday, 2026. The venue is the Q Center in St. Charles, Illinois. Uh, you will start the conference on the 10th at 6 a.m. because that's when we're going to start doing some beautiful morning, beautiful wake up things. And the conference ends at 6 p.m. on Saturday, October 10th.